right, Nadim. Well, thank you very much for joining us here today. Obviously, you're here from PAX Games. You've come down to discuss KarmaZoo with us, your latest game that I believe is soon to be released.
Yes, next month.
Next month? Awesome. What date was that one going to be?
Thank you for having me. We're going to release on the 14th or 15th here of November.
Okay. Now, we had the honour of being invited to the hands-off preview where you spoke about your game and we had a chance to play around with you. Can you let people know what the inspiration behind this one was?
The inspiration was basically, it's our jobs as game designer to make a game that pushes people to act kindly. And it's not gamers who are unkind, it's game designers who are making games that push them to be unkind. And we've been tired of gatekeeping and bullying online, and we wanted to make a game that everybody could play, everybody can enjoy in a heartfelt environment, in a kind environment where people can feel safe and happy and share a moment online together. And we wanted to make this game about collaborating with friends and random people and see how this happens. This was the whole inspiration, this was the whole goal for this.
Yeah, so obviously that's where we get the karma part of KarmaZoo. Where do we get the zoo part from?
The zoo part is because it's a chaotic, hectic world where there's 50 avatars, 54 actually playable characters. We have 50 material avatars that can jump and push buttons and jump on walls and everything. And we have 4 Sherpa. This is a very late game avatars that you unlock once you're really the most altruistic of all. And you don't even touch things anymore. And because we decided to make a mix between animals and objects, it can also be a watering can or a music box or a fish tank. There's different types of objects you can play. We decided to use the word zoo to encompass all of this. And at the same time, a zoo is a prison. So you want to get free from this prison. So the whole goal of this game is to free yourself from the zoo.
Yeah. So during the hands-off preview, I noticed that like if you jumped and sort of, I guess, sacrificed yourself against some spikes or something, you sort of left like a bit of a tombstone that your friends or your companions could use. So what was the inspiration behind, I guess, that one, leaving behind something that can...
Yeah, it's a little bit of self-sacrifice, never hurt anyone. And it's a good way to help others is to give part of yourself out. Mm-hmm. And this was half of it, like the concept of dropping a tombstone that somebody else can walk on. We have a saying in French, I think it's the same in English, hell is paved with good intentions. Mm-hmm. And this place was kind of a spiky hell. And you pave it with your tombstone and people walk on it, it's a good intention, and can cross a chasm or a danger or a precipice. And you win some karma when somebody uses your tombstone. When you're useful with your tombstone, you win some karma. Mm-hmm. And because we've played 1 million platform games before, and we're always a bit, we don't like the concept of, well, Mario died 700 times and we're supposed to believe that he didn't die, like what this didn't happen. Some games do it well, and they do rewind systems that help you make it coherent.
Yep.
And some other games don't handle this at all. And we decided to handle it in an elegant way by saying that dying on the spike is not dying, it's part of the game. It's incarnation, reincarnation. So the actual game over is not when your character physically dies on the spike or on a trap. The actual game over is when you stay alone for 10 seconds or more, and your body disappears and you go back to your soul shape, your ghost shape. And we wanted to make a game in which your body dying and coming back was part of the concept.
Yeah, okay. Now, you mentioned that you get rewarded with karma. So what does the karma allow you to do as you progress through the game?
The game loop is very simple. It's play, enter the loop, collaborate with random people or friends, win some karma. Everything you do to help gets you more karma. Mm-hmm. Karma is actually the currency of the game. You win karma points. Then you go to the sanctuary and you spend your karma to unlock new playable characters. And you come back to the loop, you discover all the content that's linked to this character, the levels, the abilities, the perks, and you win more karma and you increase as much as you collect characters, you raise all the top to the nirvana. And the whole goal is to play the loop, collect karma, spend it to have new characters, play the loop. And this is the main gameplay loop.
Yep. So with your level design, how did you go about that one? Did the level design sort of influence the type of characters you were playing with, or was it more the characters influenced the level design?
Yeah, it's that way around. Actually, everything is handmade in KarmaZoo. Okay. We don't use any procedural generation at all. And what we wanted is that each character comes with content, so you want to collect them all. That's the principle. Yeah. It's a collect them all game. And because when you're going to, for example, unlock the elephant, you are going to be given levels in which there are walls to smash. But let's say in your team there's also a mouse. So you're going to be given levels, there's a wall to smash and a mouse wheel to run. And as many soft lock characters you have in your team, this will have the algorithm choose this or that level that best matches your team and your playstyle. We have a couple of more ways to control the level design. For example, your skill level. How many games have you succeeded? How many games have you failed? The average skill level of your team will determine how hard the levels which we throw at you. Mm-hmm. So we have a big bank of levels, over 300 levels, and we try and find the best level to match your team, your skill level, the number of players, the type of avatars, and the missions you've succeeded in the past, all this stuff, the perks you're using. Because the demo you're going to play now, you've played the other ones, but the demo that's here, it's just one big level because it's a game event, so we have to make it kind of short.
Yep.
But the real game is about 25 minutes. And in between each level, you're going to vote together for a perk that's going to change completely the next level. And all these elements determine which specific level we want you to play. And we have one last lever to play with is how much of the game have you seen? So we're going to try and choose a level that the minimum amount of players on your team has seen. So it always stays fresh, always something different.
Right, awesome. So you mentioned you've got 300 sort of hand-built levels. How long does something like that take to create?
A long time. Long time. We are passionate about level design in Pasta games.
Yep.
It's one of our core. We want to do level design. This is what we want to do. So we started making these levels a long time ago. This game has a long span. We started working on it. The first stone was placed 7 years ago.
Yep.
And we've stopped and started and stopped and started. We've made other projects in between. But we've had the time all along this to create many, many patterns of level design and use them to build many levels quickly according to the needs that we have. But I would say one level from start to finish would take a level designer a couple of days. And with all the testing and debugging and the network issues, we would consider 1 full week to finish a level. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean you cannot work on others at the same time. But what does the time span to succeed the level would be 1 week.
Okay, so how many people do you have on your team that were actively working on KarmaZoo?
So it's very difficult to answer this because according to the ages and the periods of time, there were moments when no one was working on it. There were moments when one person was working on it. In the last few years, finishing the game, as soon as we hit what we consider to be our alpha stage, until now, I would say 15 people.
Yep.
Are on the team.
Okay. So I noticed when playing, your character or your avatar has like a little bubble sort of hovering around it that shrinks. And then as you get closer to your friends, it sort of builds back up and it remains stable.
Yeah.
Was there any sort of inspiration around that one, or is that more, again, just so that you're more focused on working with people?
Yeah,
or?
This was the strongest feedback that we come up with to keep people together.
Yeah.
We tried a lot of things over the years to have people stay together, and we would always have team players that would want to go ahead to open a door or to succeed something, not understanding that it's about solving these problems together. It's not about you solving every problem for everyone, just people walking through it. It's about sharing the solutions. So we found this system in which you have some freedom to walk away, but because your halo shrinks until it pops, and this is actually the game over of the game. If you stay 10 seconds alone, you die.
Yeah.
So this was the easiest way to get people to come back to the group and to stick together.
Okay, so with the game being focused more so on people working together, how do you think trolls would play this game?
Because
They will, yeah. So how do you think this is going to, affect the trolls in terms of people that are coming in specifically to cause issues?
Well, they can try.
Yep.
We pride ourselves into having made a troll-free game.
Yep.
Add air quotes there because it's never really troll-free. But yeah, we think we've succeeded into protecting our players from trolls. Mm-hmm. We have a very universal and generic solution. If 3 random people agree that a 4th person is acting unkindly or is trolling, they can get kicked out of the game. That's it. 3 people agree. So if you get one vote against you, a second vote and a third vote, that's it, you're kicked out of the game.
Yeah.
So you can troll. This is the first level of protection.
Yep.
Then the game itself, every mechanic has been made to avoid trolling. So for example, there are spikes in the game on which you, as you said, you drop a tombstone. One could believe that you can block a path because you drop a tombstone in the wrong place. But this is why we made all our tombstones destructible. We've tried over the years to iron out all the possible ways trolls could abuse of other people. For example, there's no in-voice chat. Mm-hmm. This is one of the big decisions we took so that it would never happen that somebody could talk badly to somebody else in the game. So we try to find solutions mechanically in more of a macro point of view, and we have that last level of protection that just if people agree to kick you out, you're out.
Yeah. So you just mentioned that you've got no voice chat. Now, obviously there's Discord and all that sort of stuff, but if you are playing with somebody who doesn't, or somebody who's not a friend, if you're playing with a random individual, which I know is one of the big goals of KarmaZoo, how do you communicate with other players to say, hey, come over here, I found something?
So that's the whole skill of the game. This is a puzzle platformer, but it's not based on platforming skills. There are some passages where you need to be a bit skillful, but we don't want skill, hand ability, finger ability, to be the crux of solutions. Mm-hmm. We want the ability to connect and share with somebody else the solution to something that might be simple to you, but not for them. This is the skill of the game. So we gave players a couple of tools, not very specific tools, not too precise tools, so that they can make their own languages with these tools. We have a set of, for example, simple emotes. We have 15 or 20 emotes that you can just pop above your head in a small bubble, like in a comic book, for example. Yep. This is very simple. Some of them are very explicit, like a smiley crying, for example, or happy smiley. These are first degree. Yep. But we also have some others that are more free to be used however player that wants, according to their culture. Mm-hmm. For example, we have pointed fingers in different directions that mostly are used to point directions, but people use it 1,000 different ways. We have, for example, one that surprises us so much over the years is this symbol, this emote. Yep. It can mean so many different things according to how it's used. Some people use it to pray, some people use it to say thank you, some people use it to say hello, some people is high five. So you never know how people are going to use it. We don't care, because all we want is that people find solutions to communicate in game. And the strongest way to communicate is to use your voice in game. You sing, you play this, every character has a bespoke button for singing. Yep. So this is also for gameplay. You activate mechanisms and levers, and you materialize platforms and stuff like this. But it's mostly just to sing to people and to try to get people's attention. And if you sing long enough on an object, it will eventually point at that object with your voice saying, this.
That way, yeah. Okay.
And other systems that are very useful is if, for example, you're a mouse and you need to run the mouse wheel to open the door for us, and I sing on that mouse wheel, not at you, but at that mouse wheel. The mouse wheel will display something on your screen saying, you should come there. So there are even systems in the game to help people connect.
Yeah. One of the other mechanics was, you did mention that the sort of praying emoji can be used as thanks, but you have another way of thanking players as well, don't you?
Yes.
You've got where you can pass out hearts to other characters, and that adds to the overall karma score as well. What's preventing people from just throwing out hearts to get as much currency as possible?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Awesome.
Time a little bit. There is some limit.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about the Karma Kiss, right?
Yes.
The Karma Kiss has a small cooldown of 30 seconds. You can only send one heart every 30 seconds. Mm-hmm. And the levels are timed. Even if the timer is not oppressing, it's not supposed to oppress you, like it's not a time game where you have to rush. But we have 5 minutes to succeed every level. Mostly to keep the game sessions reasonable, so that people would accept that playing this game would never extend 30 minutes of their time. This is mostly the reason why we have a timer. Mm-hmm. So you can basically send like 6 or 10 hearts, even if you have some perks that speeds itself up. 10 hearts per person per level. Fine, go for it. Yep. We want people to farm karma. We want people to share the love as much as possible. And even if that makes them eat to our content faster, because they find ways to exploit a little bit the system, fine, this is what we want.
Yeah. So, are there any future plans potentially for like additional updates to KarmaZoo and additional levels, additional characters?
Infinite plans.
Infinite plans.
Especially now because we've been doing lots of open betas.
Yep.
And the Discord community is starting to grow and is very active on KarmaZoo, and we've opened some suggestion channels and some idea channels, and people get so amazingly creative. It's actually starting to be annoying because we want to continue to create stuff, and we just take a look at these channels and there's just like the best ideas for the best characters and the best levels and the best new perks. Specifically, they have great ideas for game modifiers and new ways to influence the game in fun ways. Because our perks are not only about gameplay, they're also about experience. One of my favorite is just change the music. It's a piano solo, or now it's just a saxophone solo, or now it's just a drum solo. So also experience perks. So we're fed by all these people these amazing ideas. So it's an infinite source of inspiration. And we also had our own backlog of ideas that we wanted to. Yeah. We're going to mix these and keep adding content.
Stuff that just couldn't fit in time for November 14th. So
exactly.
So obviously with your Discord community growing and everything, you've received a lot of very positive feedback in regards to KarmaZoo. Where can our listeners find your Discord if they'd like to jump in?
You jump into our Discord. It's KarmaZoo Discord. It's very easy. You can go on our website, you can wish list the game, you can pre-order the game, you can join our Discord, join our social networks. We're welcoming everybody easily. Awesome.
Well, look, again, thank you very much for answering our questions. It's been an absolute pleasure. If you do want to check out KarmaZoo, I believe you can pick that one up on Steam at the moment, or you can sort of pre-order it on Steam. Are there any betas running at the moment that people might be able to...
The last one just was over a couple of days ago.
Oh, bugger.
And the game will be available on all devices on day one.
Yep.
PS5, Xbox Series S and X, Switch, Steam, Epic, Microsoft Store, name it, it's there.
Will you be supporting crossplay with all those?
Of course.
Yep. Yeah. Awesome. Fantastic.
We want the biggest pool of players, and we want to go where the players are. So we have 22 languages, most devices, crossplay. We want everybody to play together.
Fantastic. That's awesome. All right. Well, again, thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much.
All right. I hope you enjoy the rest of PAX.
I will. I hope you do.
Share the love or die trying. KarmaZoo. A game for you, and you, and you. KarmaZoo is a joyful cooperative platformer where up to 10 random players team up and must combine the abilities of 50 different characters to win and complete a loop. KarmaZoo is about helping people, working together, and finding bliss in cooperation, even when things go wrong. Share unique moments and make real connections with completely random players online, thriving to harvest the most precious resource of all, sweet karma. The loop mode offers a series of increasingly challenging levels that adapt to the size of your team, the characters you play, and the perks you pick together.
No two runs are ever quite the same.
Be useful to score, stick together, help your teammates reach their goals. And what's more helpful than a little bit of self-sacrifice? Throw yourself on a spike and lay down an adorable little tombstone that others can use to cross safely. Every good thing you do, one way or another, earns you the precious karma you need to unlock new characters or abilities for future loops. Are you welcoming friends or family at home? Totem is an extra local game mode, perfect to be shared on a single screen. A tournament that pits up to 8 players against each other in a series of frantic quick-fire minigames. Available in 22 languages with cross-platform play and even private lobbies to enjoy both loops and totems with your friends online.